Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of The Watch Collector. My name's Ollie. Today I'm going to have a look at a brand called Carl Suchy Söhne. Now I was lucky enough to actually go to a mini launch, shall we say, in London. And actually we were joined by some of our collectors there at one of the embassies. And it was fascinating to see what they've done with this brand in order to revamp what is actually one of the oldest and most prestigious names in watchmaking, having originally been founded in 1822 in Austria and having supplied beautiful timepieces to royalty, not only as part of the Austrian dynasty, but worldwide. They were dormant for around about 100 years, if I'm not mistaken, until they were revamped. And this has happened so many times with different brands. Arnold & Son, a perfect example, a brand that I absolutely love what they're doing right now. And the idea that they have stayed true to those roots, just like they've done with Carl Suchy Söhne, I think is fantastic. Before we get into this particular piece, the obligatory wristwatch check, and I'm wearing the Patek Philippe Nautilus 5726A. So the model that I've got for you today is the Waltz #1. This is on a stainless steel 40.5mm case, just 9.3 millimeters in depth, and it's got a lovely curvature to it that really makes it feel even thinner and lighter than it does, but at the same time gives great legibility for the dial. And the dial is really what defines this watch. As you can see, you've got it almost divided into two hemispheres. You've got the left and the right, both guilloche'd, but in opposite directions. And it really allows for a lovely interplay of the light as it goes through whether it's the day, whether it's you're sat at your office. It has because if I actually tip it like that, I can hardly see the guilloché at all. And as soon as I move it to one side, the right side of the dial goes really dark, certainly from my angle, whereas the left-hand side is light. At the bottom of it, you've got the seconds counter, which is quite playful insofar as it also has the striations for the guilloché, and as it moves around the piece, only once a minute will it align itself with the guilloché that is applied to the rest of the dial. It's very handsome, it's very light, it's extremely classic, and ultimately that goes back to what I mentioned previously about the revamp of Carl Suchy Söhne, really taking inspiration and remaining faithful to what these watches were all about from, let's face it, 202 years ago. If we flip it over, this is the second thing that you're paying for. Each movement has been hand assembled by a master craftsman, Mark Jenny. The movement itself is made by Vaucher in Fleurier. It's got a micro-rotor, as you can see, which is plated with 24 karat gold. It's got beautiful Côte de Genève, and you can hopefully see that as I guide it through the light. This piece runs at 21,600 vibrations per hour with a 48-hour power reserve, and it's 30-meter water resistant. I love, this is a good angle to get it from. I love the fact that the connections for the strap are slightly curved. Why is that important? Because that means that it will really wrap around the wrist, which hopefully you'll see once I throw it on, which I'm going to do right now. And there you go, a perfect example. Look how flush the strap sits next to the head of the watch, and how you're really able to pull it down if you so wish. The strap is calf, extremely soft and supple. It won't take long for this to really mold to the way the curvature of your wrist. as you can probably tell. It's extremely elegant, and the simple utilization of vertical and horizontal guilloché on the dial allows this to be a very simple watch, but with a real touch of class. And I think that's the best way you can probably surmise this watch. The lugs are integrated, they hardly step out from the head of the watch at all. It is a very, very elegant dress watch, which, although of course is not in precious metal, absolutely you can wear this with a suit, you could wear this for a dinner party, and it will not look out of place. I think what Carl Suchy and Söhne are doing with their pieces, as I mentioned at the outset, remaining true to the original philosophy of the brand is fantastic. Their price point is fantastic. Off the top of my head, it's around 10,000 plus VAT. But as I mentioned, with the work that's done on the dial, with the hand assembly of the Vaucher movement, and the 24 karat gold plated micro-rotor, it's something that ultimately you would be delighted to own as a only watch, as a purely dress watch, whichever way you want to dress it up. So that's the Carl Suchy and Söhne #1 Waltz model. Love to know what you think. What do you think about brands that are being revamped? Should they be left in the past, or do they provide lessons that we can really look towards in order to move the watch industry forward with a bit of inspiration from the past? That's enough for me. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you next time.